Hello. So, I just spent 9 days, the last 9 days, in an online course as a teacher's assistant. And I've really been holding in myself this question about leadership in the last week or so. Leadership in myself, leadership in others, looking around and seeing how I know people in the world are rising to different kinds of leadership, and speaking today to the empathic leaders out there that might be listening and diving a little into what it means to be an empathic leader, what that type of leadership really is and what it looks like. I didn't have like a word for this until just like a month ago or so. Um, Thinking about what it means to be a leader who leads from the heart, and not just their own personal heart, but a leader who can feel into the hearts of others, who can actually be empathic and feel into what it means to be the other person. That's the kind of leadership that is deeply compelling. That's the kind of leadership that others want to follow. So empathic leaders are many types of leaders. They could be um, parents, right? They could be teachers of anything, any art, um, school teachers, yoga teachers, language teachers. Um, Coaches are a perfect type of empathic leader usually because they're really there to deliver to their client what is going to best align for their client, right? So this ability to be empathic and look into the soul, the heart, the mind of another, and leave yourself behind for a moment is really what it means to be an empath who leads. um, and I just spent 9 days with a group of people who are all embodying this type of leadership, the leadership of the empath. And it was remarkable. It's always remarkable to do any kind of like training or intensive group learning with a group of individuals. But this would just seem particularly poignant and special for me at this time because I really got to be with my teachers again, the people who I've learned Hanasomatic education from, people who have dedicated their lives to this modality, who have been practicing and teaching this for 30, 40 years, and to see how they are really living it. So they're all in their 70s, these teachers of mine. Well, actually, one of them's in her 80s. And it's amazing how well they are in their bodies, how sound and quick they are in their minds. You know, one of the teachers just 2 years ago, when she was 75, got down on the floor and crawled around with my son when he was like a year old, like in her 70s. And they get down and sit down on the floor with their legs crossed and get back up again without any aches or pains because they've taught their bodies to age differently than the average person. And you know, this time I didn't get to see them in person. I didn't get to see them moving around, which is always so inspiring. But I got to see them in their thought processes, in their encouragement of others, in their relating to others with an acknowledgement of the other's sacredness. And that really is, again, coming back to this idea of the empathic leader. An empathic leader is able to feel and sense into the light, the source, the beauty in the other, even if the other is in some kind of dissonance or some kind of disconnection. And the empathic leader feels into what is behind that dissonance, what is behind that shadow or that darkness, and inspires light to come through. And this is the kind of, again, a kind of leadership that is so deeply inspirational to people, that you really want to follow someone who is teaching in this way, who's teaching and leading from a place of feeling into the other. And yeah, I still feel like I'm processing all of this from the last week in the training, just seeing how there's a way that we expect ourselves to age in the culture that we live in, and we expect ourselves to decay, and that maybe we consider leadership to be something that is only at a certain point in our lives, and then we retire from leadership. And what I experienced today is that, or what I experienced in the last week, is that it can be possible to continue leading from your heart, from this place of connectedness to others, really well into the later years of your life, if you make certain choices about what you do and how you move. And so I'm really inspired for my own development, for my own aging process, to see in what ways I grow. That growth that's really available to all of us, with the right conditions, with the right nutrients, with the right tender tending, right? That we can grow. So yeah, and if you are an empath out there who has not stepped into the leadership in your heart, I invite you to start questioning what you might be here to lead, what might be in you, and what you might see reflected in others and feel in others that is inspirational to you, that moves you to create or to dream or to act in some way, as I'm in this process of unfolding in my own experience of that leadership. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today, looking at all these things, reflecting, and I hope all of you are out there doing your Monday. Yes, goodbye to my empathic leaders, recognized or unrecognized.